Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be taking a detailed look at your next 3 months. This is a timeless reading, so that means we are looking at the 3-month period starting from whenever you happen to come across this video. And we'll be seeing what's going on with you, what events you can expect to come your way, and we're also going to be getting advice from your spirit guides for how you can navigate and make the best of this period. So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is green calcite. Number 2 is carnelian. Number 3 is clear quartz with black tourmaline. And number 4 is cherry quartz. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones. So if you guys chose the green calcite, this is going to be a reading all about your next 3 months. I want to start off by saying thank you to the community on Patreon because it was their idea to do this reading topic. So let's get right into it. We are going to start off by seeing the major events and the major energies that you guys will be working with over these next 3 months. And then we are going to get some advice from your spirit guides and then finish off the reading with messages and advice from your higher self. There was something I wanted to mention for this group. I kind of was picking up on a nervous feeling. It felt like someone who is worried about the results of something. They're waiting to hear back about some news, like a job application or the results of an exam or maybe a visa application. Someone's waiting to hear if they got accepted somewhere, or like they're waiting on an outcome and they're nervous. And your spirit guides wanted you to know that everything is going to be okay and you are going to get a positive result. And I'm also being shown that whatever you are pursuing right now or wishing for right now, it is in alignment with what is going to make you happiest, and it's in alignment with your divine path. And this group, the way it's coming through is like you're getting this positive result or this good news, and your guides want you to know that this is only natural. Like, this result is what makes the most sense. It's not just that you got lucky. It's like you did everything correctly. You filled out all the forms exactly how you were supposed to. You have the qualifications. You studied everything you were supposed to study. You know your stuff, you worked really hard, you have the skill. Like, it only makes sense that you would have this positive outcome. I know that sometimes it doesn't feel that way because we get really nervous about something and we get in our head and we're like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I did something wrong? But your guides are saying, no, this is like the most natural thing ever, that you would get this good outcome. So I hope that can ease some of your worries, but without further ado, let's get into the cards. So we are going to pull 4 tarot cards and then 4 oracle cards to clarify those. The next 3 months for group number 1. The next 3 months for group number 1, we have the Hierophant and we have the 2 of Swords. The Knight of Swords. The 3 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups. I do want to mention that these came out quite quickly. So for many of you, I feel like these next 3 months are going to go by like that. It's going to feel really quick. There could also, with the Knight of Swords, there could be a lot of things that are time sensitive, or there could be a lot of things popping up in the next 3 months that require your immediate attention and require you to make quick decisions. Also, looking at these cards, some of you guys could be going through a shift in your life where you are moving away from a friend, or a friend is moving away from you, and that could be kind of bittersweet. I don't mean that you're losing your connection with a friend. I mean that you could actually be physically moving away from a friend or your friend group, and like not getting to see them as much because of you embarking on your next journey, or because of them embarking on their next journey. It looks like there's going to be a bit of confusion as well. It's like there's decisions that you have to make, or things that you need to act on quickly. But it's like what you feel like you want to do and what some authority figure tells you to do is kind of different. Okay, let's get some clarifiers about this. An example that's coming to my mind just to illustrate this energy is someone who's going off to college, and maybe their parents or teachers or whoever are telling them, you should go to this school, you would really like it there, or you should major in this, you would really like that. And it's like there's this person who, they have their idea of what they want to do, but they also want to take, you know, the older people or the experts or the authority figures or whatever. They also want to take their advice into consideration because, you know, maybe they have a point, and I actually agree with some of the things that they're saying. And so they're kind of confused of like, or maybe it's like, should I go where my friends are going, or should I do what this person is advising me to do? And they have to make their decision in a timely manner because there's a deadline for application. That's just one example of this energy. I'm sure there's many more. But let's see how we can clarify this a bit more. Ooh, we have Enterprise with Jupiter in Aries. Then we have the Moon in Scorpio with Power. We have Publicity with Jupiter in Leo. And then we have, interesting, Escape with Mars in Pisces. Okay, it's coming together. Yes, there is some confusion for this group because there's like a disconnect between what you really want to do and maybe like what the experts are saying, or like what someone with authority advised you to do. And so there's this feeling of, should I listen to this advice, or should I go with what my gut is telling me, or is this really my gut, or is it something else? And it's very interesting that this Jupiter in Aries card came up with the palm, because when I saw this and then I saw the Hierophant, I thought maybe for some of you this is like advice that a psychic gave you. You know, there's like what a psychic said you should do, and then where you kind of feel like life is taking you, or like what you're kind of feeling what you want to do, and it's quite different and you're like a little bit confused about that. It's interesting that we have Power and Escape. I feel like your advice in this situation is to empower yourself and do what you truly feel that you want to do in your heart of hearts. Because at the end of the day, like for some of you, this Hierophant person, this authority person, they might not even know you that well. Like in the example, teachers who say like, oh, you should go here, you would really like it. That teacher might not actually know you as a person that well and just be basing their advice off of, you know, their own preferences or like projecting something onto you. Or just at the end of the day, like it's not this Hierophant person who has to live your life. Like at the end of the day, only you have to be happy with your life. And so I think there's a piece of advice to, of course, listen to advice and like consider it, but you don't have to take any advice as like the gospel or like the be all end all, regardless of how old that person might be or how much experience that person might have or how knowledgeable or even how psychic that person might be. At the end of the day, you have to do what you feel in your gut. And I can actually use myself as an example in this. There is an astrologer who I have gotten readings from a couple of times. Super, super respect them. Like they're crazy good at what they do. And I was having a bit of a pickle, like this Two of Swords, if I should take a gap year or not. Spoiler alert, I did. But the astrologer said I probably shouldn't. They were like, you can take a gap year, but it's looking more like you should just stick it out and you should just stay in school and finish it. And I mean, looking back, I think I can tell that I knew all along what I should have done, because when I heard that advice, I was like, I was like, damn it. And I had to kind of remind myself, like, I don't have to make a decision just because this person advises me or just because the stars told me, you know? And judging from how I felt when I heard that message, like that should have been my answer enough of what my heart was really telling me. But yeah, I did not listen and I took a gap year anyway. So something that might be happening in these 3 months is that you're going through some confusion or indecision. But ultimately, I think you will, or you're being encouraged to, just go with your gut and go with your heart. And that might entail you going against a reading that you got, or going against a teacher or boss or parents' advice, or going against societal norms even. The Hierophant can also indicate just like societal structures and societal norms. With Enterprise, this Jupiter and Aries card, Aries is very much the trailblazer, the pioneer, independent, like fiercely independent. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I say. And so it's not like rebellion, but it's just coming back to yourself and saying what I want in this situation is most important. And maybe it's not going to make sense to some people, and maybe it goes against all the practical advice, but it's what my heart is telling me to do. And with Jupiter here, I feel like the more you step into that energy of honoring yourself, the more blessings you will receive. Because Jupiter brings blessings and expansion to whatever we're dealing with. And so it's like, the more energy you put into being independent and being true to yourself and doing what you say and not what others say, it's just going to bring more and more expansion and abundance into your life. And you're in no way saying like, oh, this person is wrong or this advice is wrong. Just that I gotta go with my heart. I gotta go with what my gut is telling me. And I think there's a lesson here in just taking all kind of external feedback with a grain of salt, or, you know, properly looking at it and considering it, but then realizing I don't have to listen to this at the end of the day. I even got a beautiful comment reminding me of this on my music channel recently, that someone was saying, like, if you get negative comments or if you get critical comments, remember that at the end of the day, it's still up to you, like, what you want to keep doing musically and what you want to change. You know, you don't have to listen to anyone. And I think that's a lesson for you in these 3 months. You don't really have to listen to anyone but yourself. And, you know, going against what someone might have advised you to do, or what, you're not saying that it's wrong, You're just saying that I'm right, that my heart is right. This is what works for me. This is what's right for me. Yeah, but that's difficult sometimes. And so there may be a little bit of confusion before we get to that point, but you know, we have escape, we have power. I feel like you are empowering yourself to escape a situation in your life that is stifling you or that is just not working for you, even though on paper it maybe looked like it should have worked for you, or everybody around you was pushing you in one way. This is also the energy of like someone who got a job and like all their friends and family were super supportive of it and pushing them in that direction. And then when they realize maybe they don't want to do this job anymore, it's like, am I saying that all those people who supported me were wrong? No. I'm just listening to my heart. I also want to mention this Jupiter in Leo is equivalent to the Six of Wands in tarot. So there is a significant victory coming for you in the next 3 months, and there is recognition. I think even for some of you, you need a reminder that the people in your life at the end of the day just want you to be happy. So no one in your life is going to be like, oh my God, you're going against my advice. Like, no, they're just going to be happy with you no matter what you choose. And maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself. Going back to that example of like, maybe your parents really want you to go to a certain college. And then you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Because like my family's like saying I should do this, but I really want to go to this other school instead. And you're like working it up so much in your head. And then when you tell your parents, like, I really appreciate your advice and your encouragement, but I'm actually gonna go to this college instead, they're like, beautiful. Like, we love that. We support you. Like, people around you just really want you to be happy. And I think that you need a reminder of that. And whatever you choose, your loved ones will follow you. They will support you. They will come around. And the path that you're choosing is the most empowering for you, and it's going to lead to some kind of recognition for you, a significant achievement that will bring recognition. For those of you who are in the public eye or striving to build your public presence or to build your audience surrounding your work or your creations, this is a really good card to get. And the same way Jupiter was rewarding you being independent, Jupiter is also going to reward you for putting yourself out there, and Jupiter is going to reward you for really embodying the main character role in your life. The more you feel yourself, the more you put yourself out there, the more you show off. And you're like, yeah, I'm all that. I'm the shit. I'm the main character. Jupiter is going to reward you for that. And so for those of you who are trying to build your presence or your audience, that is going to be happening in the next 3 months. I see you're going to get into like social circles and friend groups that are in the public eye or that are successful in the same field as you. So, you know, like getting in with the crowd, I guess I could say it like that. Because these two together, it makes me feel like you have like famous friends or famous connections or like connections with people who have a good reputation. This is going to be a period where luck and blessings could be coming your way based on who you are associated with. And again, going with your gut and choosing the path your gut tells you, even if it doesn't make sense to other people, or, you know, even if it goes against what all the advice said, that's going to lead you to this like positive networking, to making friends in good places. You could be collaborating with someone who has a lot of influence or working with someone who has a lot of influence. And this is also about celebration. So your successes are going to be celebrated in the next 3 months. People gathering, cheersing to you. getting you gifts as like to congratulate you. There's a significant victory or achievement that you are being congratulated on. I see you surrounded by new friends, but also old friends. Your old friends and new friends could even be coming together. I'm going to use myself as an example again, but one time Aso and I went to Toronto, and then she met like my childhood friends, and it was the coolest thing ever, you know, like old friends and new friends coming together. There's something like that happening for you too. But the bottom line is that everyone around you is going to be so supportive. And I truly mean that. You may actually be surprised. Like everyone is just so, it's like you're nervous to tell some people in your life about a decision you made. But at the end of the day, everyone's supporting you. I also just heard like, and this goes back to the very beginning of the reading, those of you who are waiting for some results, receiving that result might actually be the thing that informs you what you truly want to do. If you can imagine, I'm using college a lot as an example. I think it's just easy for this situation, but maybe some of you guys are picking college or universities to go to, or graduate schools. Imagine like someone applies to 2 schools, and then until the results come in, they're like, well, I don't know which one I want to go to. But then when they get the acceptance letter to a school and they realize how happy they are and how over the moon they are, like their reaction to that result informs them, okay, I actually really want to go to a school because I can see how freaking happy I am that now that I'm reading this acceptance letter. Go with your gut. And if you don't know what that is, like just let your reactions show you how you truly feel. How you react to news, or how you feel when you get news, that will be the hint of how you truly feel. Whatever path you choose, you're becoming successful, you're making good connections. Again, your old friends and new friends are melding, which is really awesome. Then we have this 5 of Cups, which is clarified by escape. But what I really do want to say, yeah, these both have tarot equivalents. Jupiter in Leo is the 6 of Wands. Mars in Pisces, my friends, is the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is like the happiest card in all of tarot. What I think is happening here is you are trading 5 cups for 10 cups. And it's like you're holding 5 cups and you have to give them away. And you're like, I'm scared. I don't want to give them away. But once you hand them off, you're getting 10 back. You're getting your ultimate happiness. And and I say this a lot, any transition we go through, any new path that we choose, we are leaving something behind. And so that can always be bittersweet. Whatever we move towards, we have to leave something behind. And whatever new beginning we pursue, something has to come to an end. There's always that kind of trade-off, right? And I think you are choosing the path that will make you happiest, but that doesn't mean that you can't also like mourn for what you are walking away from. 5 of Cups often indicates like bittersweetness to me, or, you know, just feeling sad for what you miss, feeling sad for what was let go of. But you need to know with this Mars and Pisces, with this 10 of Cups, that you are moving towards your greatest happiness. And I really have a feeling, group number 1, whatever you're walking away from to start this new path, you can always go back to it. You know, it's like the feeling of someone who's moving away for an opportunity, but you can always go visit home. Yes, it may not ever be exactly the same, but you can always go back and you can always experience that joy. You know, I can always go back to Canada and visit my family, and it's maybe not the same as when I was living there. The city has changed a lot. My hometown has changed a lot. sometimes I don't even recognize it. The bus routes are all different. So it's never really the same as like the nostalgic past that I left behind, but I can still go see my loved ones and see my cats. Like it's not, I don't think this is goodbye forever. Whatever you're walking away from, you can go back, you can have that joy again. But at the same time, it's time to move forward to your greatest happiness. Wow, this is really cool. So let's take a look at some, should we look at astrological placements that are here? These could be relevant to you or to, like, if you know someone who has these placements, it could be indicating that they're going to play a big role in your next 3 months. So here we have Taurus, we have Moon in Libra, air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have Mercury in Cancer. We have Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Aries, Moon in Scorpio, Jupiter in Leo, and Mars in Pisces. That was a lot, but if someone you know has one or more of these placements, then they could be playing a significant role in your next 3 months. You could be spending a lot of time with them, or they're just like one of the main characters in your 3 months. So let's take a look at some oracle cards now to get more advice from your spirit guides. I just saw 2525. You don't do it all. You don't drain yourself. You make short, realistic to-do lists, and things you can't get to will have to wait for another day. You are only human, and you are enough as you are. So one piece of key advice for you in the next 3 months is don't try to do it all. This has been life-changing for me, making shorter to-do lists. Love it. Not trying to do it all, taking rest when you need to, and not being hard on yourself when you can't get things done. I know that that's a lot easier said than done, but please think of this as like your guide saying, give yourself permission to slow down, give yourself permission to do less. There's no rush, it will all get done. We also have precious time. The fairy of time wants you to experience every moment fully and to make the most of your precious time. Be mindful not to waste others' time either. So maybe this is a bit of a conflicting message, but there will be some things in the next 3 months that are time sensitive. So maybe there's a message about prioritizing what is really important in your life, like what we want to work on immediately, and other things will just have to wait. Yeah, I guess they're not actually so conflicting, because this is like, don't try to do it all. Just focus on what is really important and take one thing at a time. With this, be mindful not to waste others' time either. Intuitively, what I feel is and this is gonna come with trusting your gut, I think. I feel like sometimes being out of touch with our gut and it's not really wasted time, because we're learning and we're doing our best. But for example, let's say you're dating someone and you just get a gut feeling right away, like, this person is not it, like this is not the one for me. But then you're like, but maybe I can give them some more chances, and then maybe you date them for a few months, and ultimately you end up going your separate ways, which you knew all along. It's kind of like wasting time, wasting your time, wasting their time. Like if you really know deep down, just get it out in the open right away. You know, the Knight of Swords is also about direct communication and just like cutting to the chase. So that may be another piece of advice for you guys. Like once you get that gut feeling, just let people know. Like let people know what's on your mind so that they can move on with their lives too. This is also, I'm thinking of saying yes to or committing to something that deep down you know you don't really want to do or you don't really have the energy to do, and then kind of dragging it out until you're like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Like, it will just be a lot easier if we cut things off from the start. Don't waste your time, don't waste others' time. The next oracle card we have is Hold Your Vision with the fixed moon. If there's something that you guys are trying to manifest, I feel like this is a message to not give up, to keep setting your sights on whatever this is. You may be faced with obstacles right now, but you will overcome them. Don't give up. Stay focused. Hold your vision. We have Creative Outcast. Stay pure in your intention. Acceptance or non-acceptance from others comes second. Maybe you're a loner. Interesting. So if we put these two together, it's like, don't let acceptance or non-acceptance from others sway you in what you are pursuing. And it all comes back to your gut. Like deep down, you know what you truly want to do. And if you stray from that, you're inevitably going to come back to what you really want, because that's what your inner compass does. That's what it's there for. It's always going to get you back on track. So if you ignore it and stray somewhere else in an attempt to people please or to gain acceptance, you are just wasting time, truly. Like, you're gonna come back to where you were meant to go anyway. So stay on your path. I promise you will be rewarded. I promise it will be worth it. And finally, we have non-duality. Let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can become fluent at doing both. So I think this is about embracing a spiritual practice that doesn't deny or erase your humanity, your 3D-ness. I feel like, yeah, it's kind of a thing in the spiritual community. Definitely not everyone does this, and I think there's a lot of people who are very much down with this, embracing your human side, embracing your temporal 3D self. But sometimes we try to it's like sometimes we forget we're actually here to be human and to have a human experience, and we try to disconnect from that and be like, it's bad to have an ego and it's bad to have these worldly desires, and oh, that wasn't very spiritual of me, or how can you call yourself spiritual if blah 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 blah. And spiritual is not something that you prove or something that you do. You just are. And I think the more secure you are in your divinity and in your spirituality, the more you can just let yourself be human and have this human experience. Give yourself permission to enjoy your humanly pleasures and to be a person. Yeah, you can be both at the same time, and you already are without even trying. You are spiritual and you are human. It's just, what is it called? Not intertwined, but simultaneous, maybe? I actually don't know. But you can and you are both at the same time. So finally, we are going to look at some wisdom within oracle cards to get messages and advice from your higher self. If there is something in particular you would like to ask your higher self about, a certain area of your life, a certain situation, just keep that in your mind while I'm shuffling these cards, and we'll get 3 messages from your higher self. Ooh, okay. Maybe more than 3. 4, okay. That was very quick. I let go of fear and work in unison with the universe. The more you're able to let go of your fears, the more in alignment you will be. So in whatever situation you're asking about, fear is actually taking you out of alignment. I allow myself to rest and renew my vitality, because you don't do it all. Not choosing is still choosing. And it's okay to fail. Stand up and try again. Hold your vision. Group number 1. These are all of the messages I have for you, or that your spiritual team has for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless, my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these ones, also timeless, except for you guys get to choose the topic for those. And thank you once again to my patrons for choosing the topic for today's video. You can also check out my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. You can also check out my latest release linked down below. And finally, I have a vlog channel, KINO Vlogs, and I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description, as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means so much to me, and just thank you for being here. Group number 1s, I'm so excited for you, whatever it is that you're doing. It's gonna be awesome. Be brave, be brave, be a little bit gutsy, take a risk. You're gonna be rewarded. I'm sending lots of love to you, to everyone who is playing a role in your next 3 months. Sending love to your higher self, your wonderful spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose this cute little carnelian star, this is going to be a reading all about your next 3 months. I want to start off by saying thank you to our community over on Patreon, because it was their idea to do this topic today. So let's get into it. We are going to start with these 2 decks and see what major events or major energies you will be dealing with in the next 3 months. Then we're going to get some advice from your spirit guides, and then finish off the reading with messages and advice from your higher self. So we're going to pull 4 cards from the tarot and then 4 oracle cards to clarify. Yeah. I left the window open a little bit. I don't know if it's going to make much difference, but might be a bit quieter if I close it. Okay. We are back. Group number 2. Major events or major energies that group number 2 will be dealing with in the next 3 months. There is a feminine spirit guide who is with this group. This could be one of your main guides, or perhaps someone who will be wanting to work with you in the next 3 months. Okay, we are starting off with the King of Pentacles and the Page of Cups coming out together. Then we have the Hermit. The Seven of Swords. And then the Magician and the King of Swords, which are coming out together. Okay, so let's get some clarifying oracle cards. interesting that I felt a feminine or female presence, and then everyone on these cards is male. So this might be a guide that you are not acquainted with yet, who wants to work with you but is waiting for you to welcome her in. Because the feeling I get that she's not showing up in the cards is that she's not going to be super forward and like insert herself into your life. She's more kind of waiting on the sidelines. If you choose to seek her out, if you choose to allow her in and agree to work with her, then she will make herself known to you. So if you would like to get acquainted with this guide, this powerful being who would like to work with you, set that intention, and allow her to come in, because she's not going to nudge you too much or be super like in your face, if that makes sense. It may be time also, group number 2, to connect more with your feminine energy. With all of these masculine figures here, maybe some of you have very much been operating in your masculine, or maybe you are surrounded by a lot of masculine influences throughout your life, or you will be quite a bit in the next 3 months. So it will be important to make extra efforts to connect with and maintain that connection to your feminine energy. Okay, so to clarify this King of Pentacles with this Page of Cups, we have empathy with the Moon in Pisces. To clarify the Hermit, we have revenge with Mars in Scorpio. To clarify the Seven of Swords, we have optimism with the Moon in Sagittarius. And to clarify the Magician and the King of Swords, we have resourcefulness with the Sun in Cancer. And we have extremism with Mercury in Scorpio. Okay. And I do want to point out that these two oracle cards do have tarot equivalents. So Mars in Scorpio is equivalent to the Five of Cups in tarot, and Moon in Sagittarius is equivalent to the Nine of Wands. If you, well, of course, you are going to be a significant person in your next 3 months, but I want to just go through like the placements that are showing up here. And if someone you know has one or more of these placements, it could be an indication that they're going to play a significant role in your life. So I think I'm just going to go with, yeah, let's go with the major and minor arcana. We have, and like, not the court cards, because then I'm going to say every sign and it won't be helpful. We have Virgo energy here with the Hermit. We have Moon in Aquarius with the Seven of Swords. We have Mercury energy here with the Magician, so that could be Gemini or Virgo. So Virgo's coming up twice. And then we have Moon in Pisces, Mars in Scorpio, Moon in Sagittarius, Sun in Cancer, and Mercury in Scorpio. So anyone around you who has these placements, you could be spending a lot of time with them in the next 3 months, or they will be kind of a main character playing a main role in your in your next 3 month period. We have the King of Pentacles and the Page of Cups here, which is clarified by empathy. And I also think it's very interesting how these two cards have come out, that the King and the Page are facing towards each other. It almost looks like they're both making an offering to each other. they are getting along, they're perhaps reconciling, they're on the same page about something. They're quite different, these two beings, but they are showing empathy and understanding to each other. The King of Pentacles would be like the archetype of a conservative person who is quite set in their ways, and someone who is more practical, sticks to the tried and true methods. And they have their reasons for doing this, because the King of Pentacles has a lot of years of experience under their belt. They have seen what works, they have seen what doesn't. But yes, they can kind of get stuck in their ways or stuck in their comfort zone. Meanwhile, the Page of Cups would be like this free-spirited youth who wants to be creative and who wants to think outside the box and has some brilliant ideas, but maybe lacks experience or lacks discipline or lacks structure or lacks direction. So these two beings could kind of be at odds. And I think something that's happening in the next 3 months is that these two energies will be reconciling. Now, these could be two energies that are inside of you. So like your inner King of Pentacles and your inner Page of Cups are working together well in the next 3 months. Or this could be a situation with another person. Maybe you are the king trying to work things out with a page, or you're the page trying to work things out with a king. And I can see how this could play out in many different dynamics. This could be a parent and child relationship where the King of Pentacles is the adult who is trying to teach the rules to their child, is trying to teach them discipline, is trying to teach them structure and order. And the child has a little bit of chaotic energy because they're a child and they want to try all of the things and do all of the things and be completely free and completely out of the box. This could also be an employee-employer relationship where the employer has innovative ideas for projects that they're working on or to move the enterprise in a certain direction, and maybe the employer's being a little bit rigid, like, no, this is what the rule book says, this is a tried and true method. So a kind of test in the next 3 months, whether these are two facets of you or you with another person, is how can these two beings respect each other? How can the Page of Cups respect that the King of Pentacles does, like, this isn't their first rodeo. They have a lot of years on the Page of Cups, or they have a lot of experience on the Page of Cups. And, you know, there's a reason that they have these tried and true methods. There's a reason that they're in the boxes they're in. They have a lot of wisdom. And how can the King of Pentacles respect the Page of Cups and say, you know what, maybe if we try something different, we could hit gold. We could come across a really brilliant idea and a new way of doing things that sticks. And how can this disciplined King of Pentacles provide structure for the Page of Cups to thrive and be creative? I feel like they really do need each other. You know, the creative free spirit does need structure and discipline and routine. And the more cautious and structured spirit does need a dash of creativity and innovation. And if they work together, they can be super, super successful. So getting these two on board together is one major event in the next 3 months. So like your creative inner child and your responsible adult self within you are both working together, or you're resolving things it's like a parent-child relationship or a student-teacher relationship or an employee-employer relationship, or it could be like with a coworker who is significantly older than you or significantly younger than you. Because I feel like there's personality differences, but there's also generational differences or cultural differences between these two people, but they're learning how to, hear each other out and work together and build companionship. And that's going to bring great success and great peace in your next 3 months. Now, with the Hermit, which is clarified by revenge, like I mentioned before, Mars in Scorpio, it can be related to the Five of Cups. And the Hermit is all about going within. It's about soul searching. It's about discovering what is at the root of us, what motivates us, what makes us afraid, all of that, what lies within, and what is really leading us consciously or subconsciously in this life. There may be a part of you that is operating from a wounded place, which I think happens to all of us at some point. But there's a feeling of, there's like a wounded version of you that it's like the things that you're pursuing, you're maybe subconsciously trying to get revenge on or prove wrong someone who hurt you. And this is an interesting example that's coming to my mind, but I'm just imagining like someone who was, I'm specifically imagining a man, but this doesn't have to be a man, of course. Like a guy who was bullied growing up, maybe was like the awkward kid or the nerdy kid and was teased by the popular and cool guys. And then when he grows up, he's like a quote unquote player and like trying to get with as many girls as possible, and might tell himself like, oh, it's just because I'm an alpha, or like that's just how I'm wired, or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with like having a lot of interactions with people, but I think it would serve the person in this example to look at their motivation, because it's like there's something deep down that's telling them we have to prove all those bullies wrong. You know, we have to get even more girls than what those bullies got to show them. Like, I showed you I'm not that nerdy kid anymore. There's something that we're trying to like rectify from our past to prove someone wrong, or to like stick it to someone, or to show someone, I can show you that I'm not that kid you bullied anymore, or something like that. This could also be a child who growing up, their parents always told them like they're lazy and when are you gonna get your stuff together? And now as an adult, they're like hyper disciplined and super hardworking. And they might get praised for that a lot. But when they look within, they're like, I don't think this is actually the essence of who I am. I think this is something that I adopted to like get back, so to speak, at my parents who called me lazy. Like, I want so badly to prove to myself that I'm not that lazy person. Or even a people pleaser. They would get praised a lot. You're so kind, you're so friendly, you're so accommodating. And you're like, like, am I, or am I just anxious that I'm gonna upset people because I was made to believe that I'm selfish? So it's almost like dissecting what aspects of your personality, or like the reasons you're pursuing certain things, it's just reactive. Like you're trying to run away as far as you can from something that you were previously associated with, and like show those people you were wrong about me. Because being guided by that, it's not going to bring us to genuine happiness. So it's like, it's almost like a bug that wants to be fixed in the next 3 months. We want to go within and really, because this is a very introspective and reflective energy. Why am I chasing the things that I'm chasing? Why do I have this aspect of my personality? Is this how I really am? Or did I adopt this personality trait out of fear? Did I adopt it to try to run away from something in my shadows? Did I adopt it to try to prove something to myself or prove something to others? So I feel like you will kind of be pulled towards this lesson This is something that that she can help you with. The female spirit guide, feminine spirit guide. This is something she can help you with if you open up to this lesson. Now, moving on, we have the Seven of Swords, which is clarified by the Moon in Sagittarius, optimism. There's a feeling of when the truth is all revealed, it is going to work out in your favor, or the truth is better than you think it is. Because when we get the Seven of Swords, it means that there's a situation that is being misrepresented, or that someone is picking and choosing what facts they share. There's a situation that the whole truth has not quite come out. And with optimism, like whatever the truth is, it's going to be good. It's going to be better. It's going to be in your favor. If any of you guys are in a situation where someone has lied about you or interpreted your intentions like in bad faith, like kind of purposely, maybe like purposely taking what you said and interpreting it in a bad way, or if someone has been gossiping about you or spreading rumors about you, I feel like all of that is going to be cleared up in the next 3 months. My mom used to say lies have short legs, and I think that was something my grandma said. And maybe it's just something people say, but they really do. So any lies or like misleading things that have been said about you or implied about you, that's all going to come to light. I hope that this is not the case for most of you, but if you are in that situation, it's going to work out in your favor. There could also be a situation where someone close to you or someone you look up to is being vindicated, I think the word is. So like if someone close to you has been going through something like this, that will be cleared up as well. Someone who you're not that close with and you've heard some shady things about them, I think that would also turn out to not be true, because there's a feeling of like someone's character is better than what you thought. So it might be yours, like someone was trying to slander your character and your true self is coming to light, or like you might have heard some things about someone or thought someone was kind of shady, or like, I don't know about that person. But then when you get to know them, better, you realize like, oh wait, you're actually a really nice person. Like I shouldn't believe the gossip, or like, I should withhold from making opinions on people or judging people until I can see the full picture. So that might be another lesson in the next 3 months, is like learning not to jump to conclusions about people or jump to conclusions in a certain situation. If there's like a person you're judging right now, or that you've like criticized, you might learn more information about their situation that makes you realize like, oh, I was kind of quick to judge, or I can understand why you behave that way now. I'm not sure which way it's going, if like it's the air is being cleared around someone else and you're like, oh, okay, I understand now, you're a good person, you're cool. Or if that's happening for you, like the air is getting cleared around you. But that's the energy. Someone's true character is coming to light, and it's better. It's better than what was originally portrayed about them. I hope that makes sense. Also, any of you guys who have online friends, you could be meeting them in person in the next 3 months. Or even a love interest that you've been like talking to online, you will meet them in person and it will be even better. They'll be even better than what you expected. Maybe they look so much nicer than the pictures, or maybe you were worried that it's going to be awkward when you meet up in person, and then you just have the best time ever. Reality will be better than your perception, than your expectation. Yeah. So then finally we have the Magician, which is clarified by the King of Swords. And then we have resourcefulness and extremism. It's interesting, when these two cards came out together, I felt like telling you guys that these are cards that represent your higher self. So if that resonates, of course, but in readings that you maybe do for yourself or in other readings that you watch, if the Magician or the King of Swords comes out, I feel like they could be representing your higher self. There's, oh gosh, this one's going to be kind of hard to put into words, isn't it? I think you're definitely tapping into your ability to manifest with clarity and precision in the next 3 months. The Magician says you can manifest anything. The Magician is can I, and the King of Swords is should I. So you are this all-powerful being, this divine being that can create anything, any life that you want, to manifest anything you want. And the King of Swords is like this emotionally detached, discerning, objective being who analyzes the situation and makes a decision. So, for example, the Magician might be someone who's like, I can manifest anything, so I'm gonna manifest making this person obsessed with me. And then the King of Swords steps in and is like, but should we? We need to ask if we should. Like, what is best for us? What is best for others involved? So it seems like you're gaining a lot more insight. By the way, I'm not saying you're trying to do that. It was just an example. The King of Swords, I think, is fine-tuning our infinite power, and we're kind of honing in more on what it is that we really want to manifest. So for some of you, and actually doing this practice that we spoke about with the Hermit, that might really help for you getting clear on what it is that you want to manifest. Because I think this is a period where it's going to become abundantly clear. This is what I should be working on manifesting. This is what we're going to focus on. I feel like you're approaching your manifestation practice with a lot of like clarity and certainty and focus and precision in the next 3 months. Like, you could write a freaking essay. Like, this is what I want to manifest, and this is the reason. This is where the desire comes from, and this is how it's going to benefit me and benefit others. Like, you're just getting really, really clear on that. And of course, like, still allowing for the universe to have its plan and its creative liberties. But I think that having that clarity is going to feel really empowering for you when you know your why, when you know where that desire comes from. It's going to give you a confidence. Like, I know that I'm meant to be manifesting this. I feel good about what I'm manifesting. I know that this is something that comes from authentic desire, from my authentic self. It's going to add a lot of confidence when you get like really clear on it and kind of analyze your desires. You might realize, it's like you're realizing what comes from a place of genuine desire and what comes from a place of love and what comes more from like fear or being over-attached to something. We're sorting through our desires is what it looks like. And the King of Swords, because the King of Swords has the ability to detach and look objectively, this is going to be a really successful practice. Now, to clarify these, we have, interesting that we have 4 and 8. I'm just thinking of something being doubled. And also I just saw 27. Like, your ability to manifest is being doubled once you develop this clarity and decisiveness. We have resourcefulness and extremism. And I feel like what this is trying to say is to not take resourcefulness to the extreme. When I think about someone being resourceful, it's like they're like, I just gotta work with what I have to make this happen. And to me, that kind of feels like not allowing for the universe to step in, if we take it to an extreme level, of course. I think it's really important to like start with what we have and think about what actions we can take and what we can control in the situation. But when this energy goes to an extreme, it feels like I have to control everything. I have to do everything. And we're being warned, we're being encouraged not to take this to an extreme. And I think you can tell if you, in your journey of manifestation, if you start to feel frustrated, or if you start to feel like you're hitting a wall, or if you start to feel exasperated, it could be because you're taking this energy too far and you're supposed to let go. If you start to feel frustrated, that is your sign to let go. It's because in the ping pong game that you're playing with the universe to co-create, you're trying to take your turn when it's not your turn. You're trying to keep hitting and swinging your racket when there's no balls coming. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling frustrated, let go. Let the universe step in. Let the universe bring a new perspective. Let the universe bring new resources. That doesn't mean you're any less of a leader. That doesn't mean you're giving up. In fact, it's the opposite. You're like, I know how powerful the universe is. I trust it to step in right now. I humbly receive the help that the universe is bringing me. I allow the universe to show me the next steps. I recognize it's not my time to act right now. I recognize that I'm handing over the power now, and that the universe will turn that into something beautiful. So it's kind of a balancing act, right? We're getting very clear on what we want, very specific, and recognizing what we can do to move the situation forward. But we're also recognizing that it's not always going to be our turn to act. It's not always going to be in our hands. Sometimes we have to let go of control. Sometimes we have to let the universe step in, like collaborate on the Google Doc and make some changes and show us the way. It really is a balance, but that's, I think, what we're going to be working on in the next 3 months. And I think you're going to see good results. In fact, you may see double the results that you normally do when you're manifesting. Maybe things are happening in half the time, or maybe, like, for example, you tried to manifest $1,000 and you got $2,000. You're going to start to see things going above and beyond your expectations if you can master this. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some oracle cards for some more advice from your guides. We have you enjoy life. You ditch whatever impacts your self-esteem in a negative way. Exchange counting calories for indulging every once in a while, and find healthy ways of encouragement. You don't punish yourself for not meeting other people's standards. Life's too beautiful for that. So that's another piece of advice for the next 3 months. Anything that negatively impacts your self-esteem, we are getting rid of it. We're moving away from more restrictive lifestyles. We're moving away from a discipline that feels like punishment and moving towards a discipline that feels like self-love. And that's going to look different for everyone. I do want to say, like, I don't know, maybe counting calories for you does feel like an act of self-love. Maybe it makes you feel good. But if you find that in your practices you feel insecure, or you feel like you are punishing yourself, or you feel like you're restricting yourself, that's the kind of thing that we want to move away from. You deserve to do whatever you want, and you deserve to take up as much space as you want, and you deserve to feel good in your daily practices. We have moon energy. Surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. So we're embracing that we're not machines, we are humans, and sometimes our needs will shift, our energy levels will shift, and it's very important that our life and our routines can accommodate for that, that they're not rigid, that they ebb and flow with us. Sometimes you'll need different things. Sometimes you'll need more food or less food, or more sleep or less sleep, or sometimes you'll feel super motivated to do a ton of things, and other days you will lie around all day. I spent a lot of yesterday playing mobile games, and it was wonderful. Sometimes you just need to do that and not feel guilty about what phase you are in. There is something about just relaxing and enjoying yourself more though, and creating routines that support you rather than restrict you. And this is also like getting back in touch with your feminine energy. But yeah, I think it's important to remember that progress doesn't look like this. It looks like this. And it's definitely not linear. And also, we don't always have to be at our peak performance. We don't always have to be growing. If you're a content creator, you will know that for sure. Like your channel doesn't just grow like this. Sometimes it's stagnant, sometimes it goes down, and that's very normal. And that analogy can go for anything. It can go for your fitness levels. It can go for your progress in learning a skill. It can go for building healthy habits. Sometimes you're gonna fall off the wagon. It's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. You should anticipate them so that when you do make them, you just keep going and it's not the end of the world. So next we have, the end of a tough cycle approaches with the full moon in Capricorn. The hard times are almost over. You have been through the most difficult times. It's only going to get easier from here. Then we have creative critic. There is always someone who will pull at threads. Creative works are subjective. You have judged yourself far worse than anyone else. It's interesting too that we had, you don't punish yourself for not meeting other people's standards. Because there's always going to be someone whose standards you don't meet. It's impossible. It's impossible to meet everybody's standards. And at the end of the day, what you think of the work that you've done is the most important. And I feel like you guys, you really are your own toughest critic. You have judged yourself far worse than anyone else. I'm also thinking, I don't remember who said this quote, and I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it's something along the lines of like, we wouldn't care what other people thought of us if we realized how seldom they do, or something like that. The point was that a lot of us worry so much about what are other people thinking about me, and they probably really aren't thinking about you that much, which is very liberating. And I think that the next 3 months is all about getting back to what you enjoy and remembering your why. There may be like a passion that you lost sight of and you're getting back to it. And realizing that maybe it was your own harsh judgments that like sabotaged you, that prevented your progress, or like worrying about judgment or worrying about rejection. And if we get over that fear, we can live a life of passion. We can do what we truly love. Finally, we have flow. Dolphins could be an important spirit animal for this group. Allow me, divine, to move with the flow and respond with calmness and peace. I'm hearing like kill them with kindness. If anyone ever had anything negative to say, like, you need only respond with kindness to yourself and with kindness to them. In my experience of receiving negative comments, people do tend to soften up if you respond nicely. So if you do, and I really hope this is not the case for most of you guys, but if you do have someone who's been like, who has a wrong perception of you, or who has been saying something negative about you, like, meeting them with compassion, not that you have to, because you're not obligated to, but it could diffuse the situation. It could. I want to read from the Spirit Animal book. Sometimes you guys ask me what this book is. It is The Pocket Guide to Spirit Animals by Dr. Stephen Farmer. And we're going to look at dolphins and see what it has to say. And this is on page 93, in case that's relevant. Take a few minutes today to meditate while playing one of your favorite pieces of music. I just heard classical music too. Listen more and talk less, especially to the more subtle levels of communication from other people and from the natural world. Nature is always communicating with you, and your body as well. Your body is always communicating to you. Think and behave more lovingly and positively toward that person you're having difficulty with. Smile more at others and notice how they smile back at you. Try dolphin breathing by taking 3 slow, deep breaths, each time exhaling with an audible sound. Then observe how you feel. Oh, and that's all. Okay, so for the end of this reading, we are going to pull some wisdom within cards to get some messages or advice from your higher self. So if there is a particular area of your life or a particular situation that you would like guidance on, just keep that in mind as I'm shuffling. But if not, feel free to just stay open to any messages or guidance. What does group number 2's higher self want to say to them? In the struggle, you find your true calling. They entered your life for a specific reason, to support you in a way that only they could. I am love, I have love, I deserve love. And we'll take one more from group number 2's higher self. I am unstoppable and resilient. Okay. So my group number 2's, those are all the messages I and your spiritual team have for you. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. I just had a very specific visual. It looked like a snail shell spiral, and it was orange. I don't know what that means. But I guess snails could also be significant to this group, or the color orange. It feels like receiving a transmission. When you receive a transmission, it's like a snail shell spiraling into your head. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying, but thank you for letting me do this reading for you. I just saw 4242 as well. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can check out my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless. You can check out my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these and also timeless, except for you guys get to choose the topic for those. And once again, thank you so much to my patrons for coming up with today's video topic. You can check out my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song, and you can also check out my latest release link down below. And finally, I have a vlog channel, KINO Vlogs, and I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be link down below for you in the description, as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means so much to me, and just thank you so much for being here. My lovely group number 2's, I'm sending lots of love to you, to everyone who may be playing a role in your next 3 months. I'm also sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the clear quartz with the black tourmaline, this is going to be a reading all about your next 3 months. And I want to start off by just saying thank you to the community over on Patreon because this topic today was their idea. So let's get right into it. We are going to start off with these 2 decks and see the major events and the major energies that you will be working with in the next 3 months. We are going to pull 4 tarot cards and then 4 oracle cards to clarify each. And as I'm shuffling, there's a feeling of the tables are turning. I don't know what that means. The tables are turning or the ball is rolling. We might be coming out of a stagnant situation or something that looked like it was, I'm sorry for my language, but it's like a situation that looked like it was going to shit is suddenly changing direction and starting to move for the better. Imagine a plane that's like headed for the ground and then suddenly it like changes direction and starts going back up to the sky. So there could be something that you've been really struggling with that you're finally getting the hang of it and starting to improve, or a situation where it seemed like everything was going to hit the fan and then it was saved. The situation was saved, or you were close to giving up but you decided to give it one more shot and then suddenly things took off. It's that kind of energy that's coming. With that being said, if there is something that you're really close to giving up on or walking away from, this could be your sign to just give things one last shot. Okay, my lovely group number threes. Hello to your spiritual team. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. Your first cards are the King of Wands and the Ace of Swords, which came out together. Then we have the Emperor, very nice. The Queen of Cups. And the Empress. Wow, isn't that cool? We have a king and a queen, and we have an emperor and an empress. So something that might be happening for you guys in the next 3 months is that you are entering into a significant partnership. Or if you're already in a significant partnership, the spotlight might be on this relationship in the next 3 months. Because king and queen makes a pair, emperor and empress makes a pair. It doesn't matter what gender you or this other person are, but there is a significant partnership that is being brought to our attention. Interesting. So let's get some clarifying oracle cards for these. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I dropped some on the floor. This deck is a little bit harder to shuffle, and I don't know if it's just because it's newer and it's still kind of stiff, or if that's just how the cardstock is, but we're doing our best. There we go. This is such a weird message. Something just came through. I don't know who needs to hear this, but there is a message to eat, like when you eat fruits or vegetables, to eat as much of it as you can. Some of you might be discarding parts that are nutritious. Like for example, when you eat citrus fruits or when you eat bell peppers, that, you know, that white part that doesn't really taste like anything, that actually has nutrition in it. Or maybe you peel fruits and peel vegetables and you're being encouraged to like eat the skin if it's safe to do so, of course. It's like you're discarding something that could actually have a lot of nutrients, or maybe you're discarding things that could be repurposed, like for compost or just, I don't know. It's kind of an odd message to pop up out of nowhere, but I needed to share that. Okay. Oracles to clarify. Ooh, group number 1 got this one as well. Jupiter in Aries with Enterprise. To clarify the Emperor, we have Originality with Mercury in Aquarius. To clarify, oh my gosh, I also just noticed 111. And we also have a 1 here with the Ace of Swords. To clarify the Queen of Cups, we have Escape, and group number 1 also got this one. I don't know if you guys were also drawn to group number 1, but you might want to watch it because 2 of your cards are the same as group 1, or maybe you are coming from group number 1 already. And one last one for the Empress. We have Choice with Mars in Libra. Okay, and one last thing before we really get into it, I do want to just point out astrological placements that are here. I'm gonna focus on like not the court cards, because court cards are like, what is it called? They're a whole element, so I find that when I include them, I end up saying most of the signs and then it's not very helpful. So with the Emperor, we have Aries energy. With the Empress, this is Venusian energy, so Taurus and Libra. Then we have Jupiter in Aries, Mercury in Aquarius, Mars in Pisces, and Mars in Libra. So if someone you know has one or more of these placements, this could be an indication that you're going to be spending a lot of time with them in the next 3 months, or they're going to be playing a very significant role in your next 3 months. Also, I didn't mention this in the other groups, but now I feel like mentioning it for you guys. Anyone who has these numbers in their birthday could be significant too. A 1, an 11, 2 or 3 or 12, and 7. If someone has these numbers in their birthday, or if they are a life path 1, 2, 3, 7, or 11, then they could be someone who's really significant in the next 3 months. And then I also want to mention that these 2 cards, and actually Mars in Libra as well, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait, I am mistaken, I think. Yeah, never mind. Mercury in Aquarius and Mars in Pisces have tarot equivalents. This is the 6 of Swords and this is the 10 of Cups. So I will keep that in mind. But without further ado, let's start getting into this spread. With the King of Wands and the Ace of Swords, it seems that those of you who chose this group, you are going to have a brilliant business idea in the next 3 months, or a brilliant idea for a creative project. And it's going to come to you kind of suddenly out of nowhere. For some of you, it will come to you when you're just doing something else and your mind is idle, and you will be like, oh my gosh, that's it. I have to start this business, or I have to make this project, and then you get to working on it. For others of you, and this kind of, I think, goes back to the message that I channeled right at the start. For those of you who already have a business, or you are already working on a creative project, for those of you who feel stuck in that, like it's not really going well, or it's just not turning out in the way that you want it to, or you've been tweaking things forever and it's just not really coming through. Maybe you feel stuck, maybe you're lacking motivation. That is going to turn itself around in the next 3 months. Some of you guys might actually be finishing up projects that you have been dragging out for months or even for years, just because you were getting frustrated with it, you were starting to lose steam with it. It's like all of a sudden a light bulb goes off and you're like, yes, that's how I'm gonna finish that book, or that's what this song needs to have that extra oomph, or like, this is what I need to do to get my business off the ground. So something that was just, it was just limp and like, just kind of lost its spark, is being rejuvenated, it's being revived, and you're having that epiphany that you need to save it. And we're putting this brilliant idea into action in the next 3 months. I do see like a significant big project that is being finished, or something is being launched, like a product is being launched, or something is being released, something is being published, and you're like putting it out there into the world. And I think this is something that you will do either mostly on your own or completely on your own. You can definitely ask for help if you need it or want it, or if you feel like it would benefit what you're working on. But I feel like the heart of the idea really comes from you. And so when you put this out there, it's kind of like your baby. It's kind of like sharing your baby with the world. And I think you'll feel very proud and accomplished with, you know, both of these crowns that we have here. So definitely in the next 3 months, I just heard you're rolling up your sleeves, getting really hands-on with something that you are passionate about. And you're definitely feeling a lot of drive and inspiration towards it. I would even go so far as to say, for a lot of you, if you are not expressing yourself creatively in some way in the next 3 months, you will have a lot of pent up energy, which could turn into like irritability, frustration, restlessness, anxiety, if you don't let those creative juices flow. It's like you just need to be expressing yourself right now. And if you're already that way, I think it's going to be especially so in the next 3 months. Like, your creativity is just through the roof. And I think this is a period where you have a lot of faith in your vision. And so you are less likely to get swayed by others' opinions or expectations. This is going to be a period where you really want to be hands-on and do things yourself as much as you can. The Emperor too, he's very independent. If you have an authority figure that you have to answer to, like a boss, or I don't know, family, whatever it might be, you might not be having such a great time with that in the next 3 months. I feel like this is a period where you're feeling kind of sick of authority, or sick of answering to people, or, you know, having to take orders. And if you are, for example, if you are an employee, or there's like teachers that you need to answer to, or whatever it might be, I think in that case, it's even more important that you have this independent project. Because if you're in a daily situation where you have to like answer to other people and fulfill someone else's goals, it's almost like you'll come back to this independent project to let off steam, or to just get your creativity out in a way that maybe you can't in your day job, for example. So I also think that you're gonna be pretty psychic in the next 3 months. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think you will feel that your psychic abilities are heightened. I think you'll find that your gut feelings are very accurate. An example that I just got is you get invited to an event and something in your gut's just like, I don't want to go. I don't feel good. And you're just like, no, I think I'll pass. And then you hear later that the event sucked and it was like really boring. Even just little things like that, you're like, damn, my gut knew that that event was going to suck. And even if my mind didn't know, like something in my gut just told me. Yeah, your gut instincts are very on point during this period. So let's move on now to the Emperor, which is clarified by originality. For some reason, I want to point out as well, like we have the number 4 and 11. So April 11th or November 4th could be significant dates. Of course, I don't know when you're watching this reading, but if those dates do happen to fall within the 3-month period from when you're watching this, those could be important days, or someone born on those days could be important. Also, I guess this is like January 1st, 1/1, or March 7th, July 3rd. If these fall within your 3-month window, or you know someone who's born on these days, be on the lookout for those days. So yeah, this is just it's giving like we're birthing new ideas, we're being creative, and we're being independent in the next 3 months. And there's also something about you have learned the rules very well, and that's why you can break them. It's like you had to establish your knowledge of like the status quo and the proper technique so that you could then, it's like in music, for example, you learn all of like the proper music theory and the proper music technique and like the rules of what sounds good and what notes go together. You learn all of that foundation first, and then you can start deviating from it and like making unconventional chord progressions, for example, or unconventional melodies or song structures. And it's kind of like, it's because you have that foundation that you can do that. I hope that that makes sense. There is a piece of advice for you. Learn the rules before you break them. I guess you could even say that about tarot. You know, you learn the textbook meanings first, and then, I mean, you don't have to do this, but you learn the textbook meanings first, and then you kind of start coming up with your own personal variations and innovative ways of interpreting them. You could say the same thing for cooking. You know, you have to learn the scientific rules of baking, and then you can start making weird stuff. Yeah, I think you guys get the picture. But be proud of yourself for what you have learned and for the foundation you have built, because it's going to help you. I think even in your professional journey, in your educational journey, you may be wanting to break free and do something more creative now. But I think your guides want to remind you that the knowledge and the skills that you have picked up from formal education, or from like having an office job, or from doing an internship, like those more, I guess, conventional, so to speak, things, those are actually very, very valuable experiences that now when you do branch out and do something more creative or do something self-started, what you learn during that time is actually going to be really helpful. So there may also be some advice to be grateful, you know, for the 9-to-5s that you work or have worked, for the formal education that you receive or have received. I guess skills that you've developed within conventional structures, they're going to really help you now and support you as you start to break the mold. So if you've ever felt like you were wasting time, or I don't know if resented is the right word, but like not enjoyed, I guess, a certain professional or educational experience, I think you'll be seeing in the next 3 months how it was actually very helpful, and I think you'll be very grateful for your training and for your knowledge. Yes. So now we have the Queen of Cups and we have escape. I think something else that is going to happen for you guys in the next 3 months is that you'll be going on some kind of trip, because we do see this like carriage being pulled by the animals. Some of you could be going on a solo trip if you're into that kind of thing, or you could be going on a trip with your most loved ones. If you have a companion animal, you may actually be bringing them on the trip with you, taking your dog on a road trip, for example, or something like that. And your guides are saying that this trip is kind of like, you kind of need it right now. You need to recharge, you need to rejuvenate, because this group seems to be a bit of an energetic sponge. Everyone to some extent, of course, picks up on the energies around them. But I feel like for you, this is really heightened. You guys may be empaths, you may be clairsentient, but yeah, and you could also be overwhelmed, like being in public spaces that have a lot of people, or being around someone who's in a very bad mood, for example, whereas some people might just be like, sheesh, like, that guy's in a bad mood, like steer clear of him, and then get back to their business. It's like you can feel that energy like seeping into you, and it's overwhelming. You guys could just be like highly sensitive people as well, or sensitive to external stimulations. You could get overwhelmed easily, and your guides are saying like you just need to retreat. You need to go somewhere either by yourself or with people that, like, when you're with them, it's just as comfortable and natural as being alone. The type of person that you could sit in a room and not talk at all and it's not awkward. So I do think that's something that's going to happen for you in the next 3 months, going on this vacation, going on a trip. You may be going somewhere by the water. I do feel like you'll be going somewhere a little bit more remote, because I think the idea is that we're getting away from the hustle and bustle. We're getting away from excessive stimulation, and we're just taking some time to decompress from it all, because this Queen of Cups, she is incredibly sensitive, and you can see her cup is closed. There's kind of a message of protecting your energy, keeping your energy sacred. And yeah, even there's even a waterfall here. So I feel like you guys are encouraged, if you can, to go somewhere where there's a body of water. And if you can, if the season permits, and if you feel like doing it, bathing in this water could be super purifying for you. I also just noticed there's like 2 people, 2 creatures, 2 babies here. Or actually, no, there's 3 babies. You could be going somewhere with 2 other people, or maybe it's like, oh, we spoke about a significant partnership. Maybe you're going somewhere with your significant other or with your person of interest. And I do feel like some of you are bringing animals with you. That will be really nice. That will be very healing. Or going somewhere where you can observe animals. Which, speaking of which, I'm going to see whales this summer, and I'm so excited. I'm going to Newfoundland. I'm going to look at some whales and puffins and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so this retreat is going to be really nice for you. You can take off your, what does that even mean? Take off your people suit. You know, like the suit that you wear to interact with the world and be human. You can take that off and just be an amorphous floating soul and not have to worry about being normal. You can just kind of let go. Some of you guys might be having a psychedelic experience, which I'm not encouraging you to do that, but it could be a confirmation for those of you who are into it and have been thinking about it. That could be something that is happening, because we do have this Piscean energy. It makes me think of you being like transported to another world or transported to a different mindset. So that is another interpretation. And then we have the Empress, which is clarified by choice, and Mars in Libra. This is really beautiful. The Empress is about abundance, and I think this is less about material abundance and more about your worldview. You're stepping into a very abundant energy where choice doesn't feel scary. I think something just in general, but something for you that might make choice scary is the idea that one of these is the right choice and one of these is the wrong choice. One of these is going to lead me to a good place and one of these is not. But now you're stepping into this energy where you realize just how generous and bountiful this world is, and how abundance is literally everywhere. Partly because that's just the nature of our loving Mother Earth, but also because wherever you go, you can create abundance because you're the Empress. Wherever you go, it becomes abundant. Wherever you plant your seeds, that soil becomes fertile. That's your magic. And that's what I really think you're starting to realize and step into in the next 3 months. And so making choices becomes something that is not like scary or something to test you, but it becomes this empowering thing. Like, I can choose my own adventure. You're not saying, which of these is gonna bring me abundance? You're saying, where do I want to create abundance? Because I know that wherever I go, it's going to find me. I am abundance personified, and this world is so abundant and loving. Wherever I go, I'm gonna find it. And so let me choose. I can choose in whichever way I want. I can choose whatever sounds more fun to me. I can choose what makes sense to me in this moment. I can close my eyes and throw a dart and see where it lands. It feels, choice and making decisions will feel more free to you. And not like you must choose correctly or else. I hope that makes sense. And that you have time to experience everything. Because I just had the vision of someone in an ice cream shop. This is always overwhelming for me when there's like 30 flavors of ice cream and they all look good. And you're like, oh my God, I don't know which one to pick. And in the moment, it feels like such an important decision. But it's like, I can always come back and just try all of the flavors. So yeah, like, let's say you were worrying about, oh my gosh, where should I go for my trip? Like, should I go here or here? And the universe is saying, don't worry, just pick one. And then you can go to all of these places eventually. So the one that you pick right now, it's not so, like, it's not going to make or break. You're going to have a good time wherever you go. So just choose, don't think about it too much. Choose where you feel like going right now. Rather than like, where should I go to have the best time? Just go where you feel like going and you're going to have an amazing time. And you'll go to your other destinations. You will go to all of them in time. So relax. You don't have to do it all now. And I think abundance for you will feel peaceful. Abundance is peace because you know that you don't have to be like struggle for anything, or you know that it's going to freely come to you. Abundance is being peaceful and unbothered. And I feel that in my belly when I say that. I feel it in my lower stomach when I say that. That's nice. Okay, so Oracle cards. We are going to take a look at some Oracle cards to get more advice from your spirit guides. Aw, you have a healthy support system. Have those precious close friends you support, rely on, and interact with. This is your support system. within a balanced give and take, with connections that won't drain you, but whose presence feels effortless and safe. So it looks like for this group, relationships are going to be really beautiful in the next 3 months. If there's a specific person that you would like to get closer to, I feel like this is going to be a really good time for that. And I do feel that you are going to get to spend time with those that you care about most. We also have pure intention. If you guys were wondering about the intentions of someone around you, this card could be confirming that that person does have good intentions. The Fairy of Manifestation will help you to use your wishes wisely. Manifest your heart's desire with pure intention and for the highest good of all. When you are setting intentions, when you are manifesting, it's really nice to add, I mean, the universe does this anyway, but I think it's nice to affirm it and to really feel it. To bring your wishes to you in a way that will benefit the most people possible, or at least that will benefit everyone involved. I think receiving in that way just feels really, really nice. Like when you can humbly receive a gift from the universe and know that others are being made happy throughout this process, that feels very rewarding. And I want to add to, like, the business or the creative project or whatever it is that you're working on, thinking about the people who will receive your work. I'm hearing it will actually help you be less perfectionistic, ironically. I guess you realize my work is not about proving how good I am at something. It's not about securing my status. It's about how I will connect with others and what I will convey to others and how they will benefit from it. And when you start to say, like, Spirit, please bring this work to who needs it, it kind of takes your ego out of the equation. And I think a lot of perfectionism is ego. It's a feeling of like wanting to prove that we're good enough or super good at what we do. And how are people going to critique me from this work? I mean, I'm sure perfectionism can exist for many reasons, but something about like thinking about how this will move others or inspire others or who might need it right now. It's like, it's not even my decision really who needs to see my work. I'm just the vessel for it. When you not take yourself out of the picture, but when you kind of just step aside and let your project be what it needs to be and let who needs it receive it, I think you can let go of it more freely and less nervously. Ooh, it's time to take action with new moon in Aries. Lots of Aries energy. Aries, Aries, Aries. An Aries person might be very significant to this group, or you might have Aries placements. If Aries season is happening within the next 3 months from when you watch this, that could also be a very important time. But you're definitely taking inspired action in these next 3 months. And this may also, for some of you, be your sign to go for it. Do the thing you've been thinking about doing. Tell that person what you've been thinking of telling them. In relationships, this could be your sign to make the first move. Then we have creative ghosts. Yeah, something's coming off of the back burner and out into the world for a lot of you. The grip of memories. Don't let the should have haunt you. Use it to move you forward and away from the past. And then finally, we have divine source, and you have some hummingbirds. So I'm gonna look at my spirit animal book after and see what the hummingbirds have to say. But this card says, help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. This is such a beautiful card to come out, like after what we spoke about with the Empress, and it's time to take action. Spirit has a plan and the right actions will come. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I love this deck so much. This is the Divine Abundance Oracle. Love it. It's all about surrender and just offering yourself to the divine. Now I'm looking for Hummingbird. Yay. This is the book, by the way, that I read spirit animal passages from. And Hummingbird is on page 143, which means I love you. That's so sweet. You need to be very flexible with the twists and turns your life will take in the next days. Put more emotional sweetness in your life. You need it. You're going through some very heart-opening kinds of experiences, and you'll quite naturally draw more and more love into your life. Openly express the love you have and feel for those important people in your life. Exactly. Give yourself the gift of as many flowers as you can. Spread them around your home and enjoy their sight and fragrance throughout the days to come. Oh my gosh, that's such a sweet passage. So the last thing that we're going to do is get some messages from your higher self. We're going to be using the Wisdom Within Oracle for this. If there's a particular area of your life or a particular situation that you would like to ask your higher self about, just keep that in mind as I'm shuffling. But if not, just feel free to ask your higher self for general guidance. What messages does group number 3's higher self have for them? We have close the chapter. How can you walk through your fears to free yourself? Ooh, that's giving like we're overcoming a fear or we're overcoming an insecurity and we're not looking back. We are closing the chapter. We will not let it have power over us anymore. So this says I am sacred, but it came out upside down and I thought it said I am scared. So maybe we are overcoming a pretty significant fear in these next 3 months. Whether that is, it could be a fear of like putting yourself out there, but it could even be something like a fear of heights or a fear of moths or something like that. But also definitely please remember that you are sacred. And then one more for group number 3's higher self. Oh, look! Did you say it? Did you tell them you love them? So what is that? The third time that we're being encouraged? Maybe this is the thing that you're afraid of. This is, I think, the third time in this reading that you're encouraged to tell someone how you feel or to be more open with your closest ones about how much they mean to you. Very interesting. So, oh, also I want to show you guys the bottom of the deck card. Leave it better than you found it. I think you're definitely leaving this world better than you found it. Okay, so group number 3, those are all the messages I have for you and your spiritual team has for you. So we're going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can check out my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless, my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these and also timeless, except for you guys get to pick the topics for those videos. And once again, I want to thank my patrons for choosing the topic for today's video. You can check out my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song, and you can also check out my latest release link down below. And finally, I have a vlog channel at KINO Vlogs, and I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means so much to me. I love you so much. Group number 3, thank you for being here, and I'm sending love your way, sending love to whoever this partner is. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, I don't know. And also to everyone who may be a part of your next 3 months. And I'm also sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the cherry quartz, this is going to be your reading all about your next 3 months. I want to start off by just saying thank you to the community over on Patreon, because this reading that we're doing today was their idea. So let's get right into it. We are going to be using these 2 decks here to first discover the main events and the main energies that you will be working with in the next 3 months. Then we're going to get key advice from your spirit guides, and then we are going to finish off with messages and advice from your higher self. So starting with the tarot deck, we'll pull 4 cards from here, and then 4 oracle cards afterwards to clarify. There is a feeling for this group that you are getting settled in somewhere, settled into a new location or a new living situation or a new position that you're in, or that you are starting to get comfortable. You're starting to get the hang of something. You're starting to get used to a new way of life. It's becoming second nature to you. For some of you, the message is even you can get comfortable because whatever situation you're in right now, you will be able to stick around. One example of this would be, like, let's say you just got into a relationship and you're happy, but there's that little voice in the back of your mind that's always trying to mentally prepare you for the day that it's inevitably going to end. This person is inevitably going to walk away. There's like a message from your spirit guides that to just get comfortable where you are, because whatever is in your life right now, whatever you're enjoying, whatever you're investing in, it is here to stay. So you can let your guard down. For some of you, the message is more something like you're getting used to something, you're getting the hang of something. So, for example, maybe you are in a new position at work and you're still not feeling super confident in your abilities or like super comfortable in your position. I'm imagining someone trying to learn how to work a cash register and it's really confusing. Of course, that energy can be applied to so many different things, but you're going from that energy of, okay, I have to push this button and then I have to do this, to that process is just becoming automatic. It's becoming a part of your muscle memory. You're getting comfortable in that new position and you're starting to feel confident, like, oh yeah, this is my spot. Like, I'm worthy to be here. I know what I'm doing. This energy could even be applied to a habit. You know, when you start a new habit at first, it feels awkward, it feels unnatural, it's hard to keep it going. But once you get into the swing of things, it just becomes easy. So you're settling into a new energy. This is a period of getting settled and of things starting to come naturally to you. Group number 4. I'm also hearing that this will be a good period for you physically, which I guess could be referring to physical health, physical comfort. If you are someone who lives with physical discomfort or pain, whether that is like constant or at certain, when you're doing certain activities or at certain times of the month, for example, we're finding a way to relieve pain, or we're finding a way to ease discomfort in the physical sense. So you'll be moving around with less pain, less heaviness. Like you're gonna feel good in your body. There may also be a big chore or a big task that you're finally getting to in the next 3 months that is not necessarily going to be fun, but it just has to get done. And your guides are saying, just do what you can to make it as fun as possible. I'm imagining maybe you've been putting off decluttering your home and it's like, oh, this is hell. I don't want to do this. It's so boring. It's such a hassle. But it just has to get done. So your guides are saying like there's no way around it, but maybe you can listen to your favorite music while you do it, or maybe you can invite a friend over to help you or keep you company while you do it. It's like feels like something around your house or maybe something in your office. Like it just has to get done. There's no way around it. Maybe we finally need to just bite the bullet and spend money to fix something. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'll feel a lot better once it's finished. We also have Temperance. I feel like that's kind of an appropriate energy for that. We have the Page of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. So for our oracle cards, to clarify, the Two of Swords, we have adaptability with the Moon in Gemini. To clarify, Temperance, we have Mercury in Sagittarius with discovery. To clarify the Page of Swords, we have Saturn in Cancer with charity. And to clarify the Two of Pentacles, we have the Sun in Pisces with vision. So just quickly, I want to point out the specific astrological placements that are here. I haven't been including court cards in this, and I think that might just be something no, I'll see how I feel in each reading. But in today's reading, I haven't really been called to use court cards in this. So we will look at the astrological placements that are present here. And if someone you know has one or multiple of these placements, then it's a strong sign that they're going to be like a big part of your next 3 months. So you could be spending a lot of time with them, or they could be that relationship could be having a significant impact on you. We have Moon in Libra and Moon in Gemini. We have Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius, Saturn in Cancer. That one's pretty specific because it's like a certain age group. And then we also have Jupiter in Capricorn and the Sun in Pisces. So anyone who has some of those placements could be significant for you. And then anyone who has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, or 12 in their birthday could be significant person, or someone who is life path 1, 2, 3, 4, or 9. It's kind of cool that we have like a Sagittarius card clarifying a Sagittarius card, and we have an air moon card clarifying an air moon card. So maybe that's like a really significant combo. A Sag person with an air moon could be really significant to some of you guys during this period. And yeah, let's get into it. So I do think that there's gonna be a focus on Sagittarius-y or ninth housey themed things for you in the next 3 months. This energy can talk about travel, exploring new cultures, exploring new worldviews. It can talk about education, expanding your spirituality, philosophy, learning about religions, just learning about people and learning about the world and expanding your mind. So I think that's going to be a big theme for you guys in the next 3 months. There could be a focus on your education, or you could be learning about or studying something on your own that you're super interested in. You could be going on a pretty big trip or planning a big trip. And when I say big, I mean far away, or you are making multiple stops, going to several countries in a certain area. You could also be going on a trip where there is some kind of educational aspect to it, like going to visit a historical site and learning about what happened there, or learning about a certain religion of the world, something that teaches you more about the culture of that place. You could even be going to study abroad, because that combines like education and travel. You could be learning about geography, learning about history, learning about philosophy, religion, learning about spiritual concepts. You could also be going on a kind of spiritual trip, like a spiritual retreat or something that heightens your spiritual awareness. And I do think that your mental health is going to be quite good during this time as well. Like physically, it looks like you're doing well. Mentally, it looks like you're doing well. I think you're feeling good. And with Temperance here, and this is kind of a vague statement, it can mean many different things, but balance and moderation will be the key to your health. So not going in one extreme direction or the other extreme direction. Everything in moderation, or living in moderation, will be healthy. So, balancing work and rest, balancing foods that are healthy for your body and treating yourself or something like that. To not take anything too extreme, I think that's going to be a big key for your thriving. With this Two of Swords and adaptability, it's interesting too that we have a 2 clarified by a 3, because the meaning of the 2 in this card is kind of like having to choose one or the other, going this way or that way, and being kind of torn. And so to have this clarified by the 3, I feel like it's almost saying there's a third option, or there is a way to experience both. For those of you who are stuck on a decision right now, I don't know what the decision is, but there might be a way that you can do both, whether that comes from your own kind of imaginative idea or a change in circumstances. Like for example, maybe there's a conflict in your schedule and 2 events that are really important to you are happening on the same day, and you're like, damn it, I have to choose which one I want to go to. That sucks. Something might happen where one of the events gets rescheduled, and so now you can go to both. Or like 2 opportunities that seem to be conflicting, and maybe they're in 2 different cities, but then one of them changes location and now they're both in the same place and you can take both of them. If you're stuck on a decision where it's like physically impossible to do both, the universe might pull some strings so that in some way or another, you can do and enjoy both of those things that you want to do. And for others of you, you may not even choose one of the two things that is presented to you because a third option might come in. Maybe you are torn whether you want to take Bob's hand in marriage or take Jessica's hand in marriage, and then you're like, never mind, because this third person came along and I like them more. That's obviously one silly example, but the options that are presented to you now might not be all the options. And whatever situation you're stuck in that's like, it's either one or the other and I gotta choose, that is gonna change. The universe is gonna shape shift it in some way for you, I think. And I also think that just any constraints that are on you, you will find a way to work around them. Like that example of just having to do this task that you don't like. Maybe there is no way around that, but with some inventiveness, maybe you can find a way to make it suck less. You can find a way to make it more, enjoyable. Or yeah, it's like anything where you feel stuck, with a little bit of imagination, you can make the situation better for yourself. So now we also have the Page of Swords, and we have Saturn in Cancer, which has the keyword charity. My eyes are immediately drawn to this person with their children and the angels above. There is maybe a message for some of you that your loved ones are safe, or they will be safe. Especially loved ones who are at a distance that you may be worried about. They will be safe, they will be protected. And especially like, because pages can represent children, and we have these parents and children. So if any of you have parents that you are worried about, or children, or even siblings that you're worried about, there's a message that they're going to be okay. But really any loved ones, you have protection over you during this period. I think that your spirit guides are going to be more vocal during this time and giving you a lot more hints. For those of you especially who have spirit guides who can be kind of vague sometimes, you're like, spirit guides, give me a sign, and they give you a sign and you're like, what the heck does that mean? For guides who are more hands-off, they may actually be more hands-on during this time, because what I feel from these two cards is that the messages you receive during this period will be kind of spelled out for you a lot more. Not because you can't figure it out, but just because I guess that's how your guides are feeling like communicating with you right now, or that's just the most effective way to communicate with you right now. Because Page of Swords energy, it feels very like straightforward and to the point, and this card is making me think of generous angels or generous spirit guides, and they're giving you the messages very straightforwardly because those messages are for your protection. They are to help you avoid just unfavorable situations. And so it's not like they're going to be cryptic and vague in a situation like that. If there's anything you need to urgently know, they're just going to tell it to you straight. And if there's any answer that your heart is really, really longing for, they're just going to tell it to you straight. This might also be a period where you have a lot of revelations through reading and writing, but especially writing. I would encourage you guys to write a lot during this period. Doesn't matter if you are literally a writer professionally, or if you're just scribbling in a diary. Something about writing will bring you the answers that you need. With the Page of Swords looking towards the Temperance card, something that you might be encouraged to do during this period is to have an honest assessment about your habits and what habits are contributing to your health and what habits are taking away from them. And maybe even writing things down will be a tool in that, because sometimes we don't really realize what we're doing and what we're spending time on unless it's like written down or documented. There might be something, or tracking something. You might want to, if you want to do this, of course, track like a food journal, or how many steps you're taking, or how much screen time you have every day, because there could be some figure that surprises you. You're like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was spending that much time on my phone, or I didn't realize that I was so sedentary, or something like that. And it might be something that's kind of hard to look at, but your guides want to bring you this information because they love you and they want to protect you and they want you to feel good. I think there's like a focus on just well-being, getting to a place where you feel really good physically and mentally. I think you're working a lot on yourself and your wellness during this time. Of course, with a moderate and compassionate approach to yourself. That's super important. There may even be helpful information in another culture that could help you feel better. Maybe there is like a diet that originates from another culture, or a school of thought. What would you call it? I'm blanking on the word, but a vein of spirituality that originates from another culture that you would really resonate with. You know, for example, if you are a Western person, maybe the Western ideas of health and wellness and like self-help just doesn't resonate with you. And maybe like Eastern practices would resonate with you more. That's just an example. But you definitely don't have to find your version of healthy the way everyone else does, or the way people around you do. Finding what works for you is super important. And then finally, we have the Two of Pentacles, which is clarified by vision with the Sun in Pisces. This, I think he's a fox. He looks very cute. I think we will look up the fox in the spirit animal book after this, or maybe it's a wolf actually, I'm not sure. Well, maybe we'll look at both. Two of Pentacles, I'm also looking at the ship in the background, and there's a ship in this card too. Are we going on a cruise perhaps, or are we going overseas? Is this also a boat? I don't know, but there's like water in a lot of these cards as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these cards have water. Yeah, overseas. I think a lot of us are going overseas in the next 3 months. The Two of Pentacles, it makes me think of multitasking, juggling things, having something extra on our plate. Again, like there's a feeling of doing both at the same time instead of one or the other. And I don't know what it's referring to, but like you get to have both opportunities. You get to go to both events. You get to go to both countries. Like you get to do both of whatever it is you're wanting to do. You can have your cake and eat it too. Some of you might be picking up a side hustle during this time, or there's something in this period that's just allowing you to make a bit of extra cash. There's extra income coming in, but it will require a little bit of more effort. I don't think it's passive income. It's like a little an extra job, an extra responsibility that you're picking up on the side. It's like extra work. I think that you will have a little bit more on your schedule than usual, but oddly, you don't feel more stressed or more tired. Your stress and energy levels will be the same or even lower than usual. And so it will be interesting to see how, like, my stress levels are not necessarily tied to how much I'm doing. It's more like the nature of what I'm doing or what my emotional baseline is at. You might be showing yourself like, wow, I can actually do all the things. I can actually get a lot of things done. And I'm just realizing this Mercury in Sagittarius, this is the Eight of Wands. Like, the tarot association of that placement is the Eight of Wands. And that also gives me a feeling of like, we're getting a lot done. We're doing all the things. I think you're enjoying yourself, you know? It's not like you're pressured into doing all these things and you have to do all these things, but there's multiple things that you want to do and you're going to get them all done and you're going to feel good about it. Yeah. And with vision, it's funny, we have Pisces, which usually makes me think of sleeping, but then we have the sun coming up. It looks like the sun is rising. Maybe you're going somewhere with a time difference, and so your sleep schedule will be kind of wonky, because the Two of Pentacles is also like adjusting to the waves of change and just like trying to handle it all. So you could be experiencing jet lag, or because we had that message that you're super into like studying something, you're getting really interested in something, there might be times where you like pull all-nighters because you're so absorbed in what you're doing. And again, like, I really want to stress this. It's not like, oh my God, I have to stay up all night because I have this exam tomorrow, and like stressing yourself out. It's like you're so into what you're doing and then you realize it's the wee hours of the morning. And with that message, I would remind you about the key to your utmost well-being is moderation. So it will be, you know, sometimes you might get carried away and stay up all night, for example. And I think that's part of moderation, and that's part of balance, that you don't then say, oh my God, I'm supposed to be going to bed early and waking up early, and I'm supposed to be getting 8 hours of sleep every day. Oh my God, like I did something so bad by staying up. Like, your healthiest version of you also includes your enjoyment and your creativity and your passion and giving yourself room to breathe and be a fluctuating human. So your healthiest lifestyle might include some all-nighters sometimes, because like sometimes you're in the zone, and being in that zone is healthy. It makes you well, it makes you happy. So if you deviate from like the textbook routine, or even just from the routine that you're trying to uphold for yourself, I want to suggest that it's okay to allow yourself those freedoms, those outliers. You could also be having crazy vivid dreams during this time that are like kind of weird or fantastical. Okay, so next we are going to take a look at some oracle cards to get further advice from your spirit guides. You are loved. All the love you send out into the universe comes back to you in so many ways. Look in the mirror and say, I love you. Write yourself a love letter, make a gratitude list, revisit an old hobby that makes you smile. You deserve these simple yet effective acts of self-love. Then we have hidden depths. Something hidden is about to come to light, perhaps a secret or memory at the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we can become free. Interesting. And this person is also in water. The water could also be representing the depths of your subconscious mind. And that kind of gives this sunrise a new meaning, because like, first of all, Pisces is like the subconscious, and the sun makes me think of light being shed on things being exposed. Same with this eye, things being seen. So the sun peeking up from the water could be indicating things in your subconscious mind that are becoming seen. I'm hearing the true longings of your heart are going to be shown to you. And honoring those longings will be the greatest form of self-love. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what we were saying. Some of you needed to hear that message again. You and your loved ones are safe, will be safe. And again, it's like if you have loved ones at a distance, or loved ones who are going through a scary time, whether that's personally or in their country or whatever it might be, you're gonna be okay. You're all gonna be okay. And then we have safety again, creative safety. Being seen and feeling exposed are not the same thing. Find safety within your knowing and self-belief. You're being seen. You're developing intimacy. You're shining a light on something within yourself that wants to be seen. And you could be also developing intimacy with others in your life. You could also be overcoming a fear of intimacy, whether that's a fear of intimacy in general or a fear of opening up to a specific person. We're letting our deepest and truest desires be seen to the people in our life, because they cannot fulfill those desires or help us fulfill our own desires unless we're honest about them. It will be an act of self-love to yourself to open up about what you truly desire and what you truly need. And it will also be an act of inviting others to show their love to you, which they will. So being more open about your needs, being honest about your needs, is a piece of advice from your guides. And then finally, we have letting go. Everything is indeed out of control, and God will hold it all. I can safely let go. So there is strong divine protection, and especially angelic protection, around you right now. There may be some situations on earth that seem chaotic and seem out of your control, and in fact, they may be out of your control. But you can rest assured knowing that it's in the hands of God, it's in the hands of your angels. Okay, so the last part of this reading will be to get messages from your higher self, and so we are going to use the Wisdom Within deck to do that. If there's a specific situation or area of your life that you would like guidance on, just keep that in mind as I'm shuffling, but if not, you can feel free to just ask your higher self for general guidance. What does group number 4's higher self want them to know? Oops, I have the guidebook mixed in here. Group number 4's higher self. How are you being the best version of yourself? Oh, how are you today? This period's all about you, all about the relationship with you, growing, developing yourself, and making sure to check in with yourself as well. That's a good way to show yourself love too. It's so sweet. I'm just thinking how sweet it is. Like sometimes when I post a reading, I'll get comments like, "Hi Kino, how are you today?" And it just lights up my heart so much. Okay, we also have, if you fall, will it all fall apart? Interesting. And unconditional love. Would you love them if they didn't love you anymore? When I pulled this card, I had the image of someone who is building up a sandcastle that keeps getting knocked over by waves and blaming the waves rather than realizing, okay, maybe this castle is not so sturdy. If there's a house of cards that is so weak that it will fall down at the slightest gust of wind, maybe it's meant to fall down. There may be something that you are putting a lot of energy into maintaining that is not sustainable, or that's not really giving anything back to you. Almost like we are in a hamster wheel. It could be trying to maintain a relationship, a friendship, trying to maintain a certain level of progress. And it just feels like we're fighting and fighting and fighting just to maintain. Like we can't even make new ground. We're just fighting so hard just to maintain or to not lose. Not to lose what we have. If you stop pouring into this, will everything come to an end? I'm also thinking of, like a friendship. If you stop initiating conversation, if you stop reaching out to that person, will your connection just end? It's something that your higher self wants you to reflect on. If there's a situation that you feel is one-sided or is draining you, try pulling away for a while and see what happens. Because in that previous example, if someone's like a true friend to you, if you stopped texting, if you stopped reaching out, like they're gonna check up on you. They're gonna reach out to you. Yeah. Try, and again, it's like avoiding going to extremes. Like bring your energy back to the middle instead of overexerting yourself. And then you can really see what is sustainable for you. And this energy can go for so many things. I think it's the idea of cultivating a sustainable life. You know, a way of eating, a way of exercising, whatever it might be, that is actually sustainable. A lifestyle that you can actually do long term or even for the rest of your life. Yeah. And again, it's like letting go of control, letting go of conditions. Letting go of everything that takes us away from ourself. Wow. At the bottom of the deck, I am in charge of my own happiness. Okay, group number 4s, the higher self has spoken. So these are all the messages we have for you today. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you to your spiritual team as well for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, which I know you will. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless, my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are also timeless, and they are just like these ones, except for you get to choose the topic. And once again, I want to thank my patrons for coming up with today's video topic. You can also check out my music channel. which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song, and you can also check out my latest release link down below. And finally, I have a vlog channel, KINO Vlogs, and I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting this channel. It means so much to me. And just thank you for being here. My beautiful, beautiful group number 4s. I'm sending so much love to you and to everyone who may be a part of your next 3 months. And I'm also sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your angels, your beautiful, loving angels, and your whole spiritual team and all of your loved ones, both here on earth, wherever they may be. Whatever their situation may be, I am sending love and protection and happy vibes their way. And I am sending love to your loved ones in other realms as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.